So over the last few days, there finally has been some action on the football field with the Raiders hosting voluntary workouts. And it's actually refreshing to see the main players show up and put in some work together. We got one of our first looks at Geno Smith making throws and working on footwork with some of his receivers. We saw Max Crosby doing defensive drills. Ashton Jeanty has been putting in a lot of work, even in bad conditions. It's just an exciting time of the year. This is going to be more of a Raiders news type of video because it's been a minute since I've made a video about this team, and boy, do I have a lot to talk about. But first, before I begin, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind. We are on the road to 50,000 subscribers, and with your support, I believe that we can get there super fast. Alright, so we're getting to that time of year where football drills are happening on football fields, and with that, we of course can talk about the 53-man roster projections. We can talk about specific players. There's so much going on. So first off, let's start with the Raiders backfield that is going to be led by Ashton Jeanty. It's obvious that the Raiders as an organization are all in on Jeanty. They drafted him with their 6th overall pick, which means that one of the guys on the bubble right now of making the roster is Zamir White. Zeus definitely had a big opportunity and chance to have a big season last year. It was his moment, his time to shine, but due to various factors that were and were not his fault, he just never got going, and last season was a disaster for him, not even getting to 200 yards on 65 carries. But luckily for Raiders fans, his downfall is what caused the glaring hole at running back, which pushed the Ashton Jeanty agenda forward. And now the Raiders have a guy that is projected and hoped to take over the backfield for the next 5 years and hopefully more. But not only was Jeanty brought in, the Raiders backfield now consists of him, Raheem Mostert, and Sincere McCormick, who most people probably would prefer over Zamir White as well. So between those three, I think that gives White a very unlikely chance of making the roster. He will probably end up elsewhere, and I just don't think the Raiders have any reason to want him on the team for the actual season. They've already tried the experiment and it didn't work, and the last thing you want to do in the NFL is hold on to failed experiments. I'm talking about you, Cleveland Browns. But anyways, let's talk about the numbers from the backfield. So Sincere McCormick pretty much put up the numbers that Zamir White did in half the carries. They still were not that impressive, but the numbers definitely show that he has more upside. In terms of Raheem Mostert, he is really the only one with an NFL track record, but he is on the back end of his career, so he automatically is nothing more than a number 2 guy, but still, he is going to make a great mentor, and he does still have some speed. There is going to be a few turn back the clock moments in 2025 for sure. Mostert for his career has averaged about 5 yards per carry, and he of course had his breakout years with the Dolphins. Consistency has kind of been a problem throughout his career. Well, really I should say injuries. It's hard to say what his career would have been if he stayed healthy, but that is just the curse of the running back position. It really is becoming tougher and tougher for running backs, and careers are becoming shorter. I mean, I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, and I thought Nick Chubb was a for-lifer type of guy until he wasn't, and had that basically career-ending injury. And then for Ashton Jeanty's numbers, they were video game-like last year in college. He has over 2,600 rushing yards with 29 touchdowns, and what probably in most eyes was the biggest standout thing from last season was his yak. One-on-one, nobody could tackle him, and he just bounced off defenders like a pinball machine. Obviously in the NFL, there are bigger and more athletic guys on the front line, but I don't see any reason why Jeanty won't be able to adapt and get even stronger to continue to do what he does, especially if the Raiders' O-line is improved. Anyways, moving on, let's talk about the Raiders' new look receiving room and who Geno Smith will have as weapons to throw to. Right now, we're looking at a 1-2-3 punch of Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker, and Jack Bech out of TCU. And then of course, you basically can count Brock Bowers as a receiver as well, because he's most likely gonna lead the team in targets. Actually, he better, because he is a world-class, one-of-a-kind talent. I definitely think he is gonna end 2025 as the undisputed best tight end in the league. Last season, Jacoby Myers actually did reach the 1,000 yard mark and had 4 touchdowns, and that was pretty impressive considering what the offense was. So this year, with a quarterback under center that is not afraid to sling it and air it out, I'm expecting big things out of Jacoby now that he has more weapons around him and less focus on his name by opposing defenses. Jack Bech is definitely an intriguing prospect. He's someone that me and a lot of other analysts had on their board before the draft, and like Jeanty, Bech noted that he takes pride in not going down easily. Oh yeah, I definitely bring a lot of pride. Since I was a freshman in high school, my wide receiver coach called it the 3 cardinal rules. And one of the cardinal rules was never let the first person tackle you and make the second and third miss. I really take that to heart whenever I get the ball in my hands and I have it. I become a running back. I never let the first person tackle me, and I could make a couple people miss. I'm always going to fight for those extra couple of yards, and it's definitely something I take a lot of pride in, Bech said. His mentality and style of play undoubtedly matches how Spytek and Pete Carroll desire for the new look Raiders to be. Besh will fit in nicely with an offense that aims to be more physical and more competitive heading into next season. Having that dog mentality just means going out there and not losing no matter the cost. Going out there, it doesn't matter what it is, to win your one-on-one. To put your head down and knock somebody on their butt, to put them on the ground, just being a dog. Just going out there and winning your one-on-one and winning your matchups, just going out there and dominating. Anyways, moving on, let's talk a little bit about the Raiders defense. Max Crosby, of course, received a huge extension this offseason to really give the Raiders that sense of identity for the long term. They signed Isaiah Palamoa, they signed Adam Butler, Devin White, and a few others that I think can make a big impact in 2025. And then they drafted Darian Porter, a corner out of Iowa State, and I want to take a deep dive into who he is as a player. Darian Porter is 6'3", he's 195 pounds, he plays corner, he went to Iowa State, he was taken by the Raiders in the 3rd round, and originally he was recruited as a wide receiver. Porter switched to defensive back after 3 seasons and became a key special teams contributor before earning a starting cornerback role in his 6th collegiate year. He is also a decorated track athlete, holding Iowa's Class 4A state 400-meter record at 46.99 seconds. In terms of some of his strengths as a football player, his most eye-catching trait is his elite athletic profile. He ran a 4.3 40-yard dash at the combine, and his height and long arms at 33 1/8 and explosive leaping ability make him a physical mismatch for many receivers already that are playing in the league. His background as a receiver gives him natural ball skills and impressive tackling ability on deep throws, allowing him to high point the ball and contest 50-50 passes effectively. And then in 2024, his first year as a starter, Porter allowed just a 29.4% completion rate and a 4.7 passer rating when targeted, notching 3 interceptions and 2 pass breakups in 12 games, showing shutdown potential in coverage. As I mentioned, Porter's speed and his length also translates to special teams, where he blocked 3 punts in his college career and was a standout gunner, using his burst and wingspan to disrupt return units. His versatility allows him to play both outside corner and big nickel roles, offering schematic flexibility, which is going to be huge for the Raiders in 2025 because they're deep, but they're really just starting to get deep. So as they start to figure things out, it's always good to have players that can play in multiple roles. But there's a reason he was a 3rd round pick, and he definitely does have some weaknesses. His biggest red flag is his lack of experience at corner. He started only 1 season at the position, obviously, and his processing speed and man coverage can be a step slow compared to most guys, leading to late reactions against complex route combinations. His tackling technique is also inconsistent. He often tackles high, relying too much on those weak arm tackles, and he struggles to shed blocks or deliver forceful hits. But overall, I definitely like what he can bring to this team. I think he's going to be a valuable piece as the Raiders look to improve in 2025. But yeah, overall, there's just a lot going on with the Raiders right now. I love to see Geno Smith on the field throwing the ball. It is just an exciting time of the year. There's so much to talk about. Let me know what you guys are thinking about the Raiders and what they can do this year. Right now, I'm thinking they're going to be a 10 or 11 win team. I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender just yet, but I do think some of the pieces are coming together, and I love the new culture that Pete Carroll is starting to build. If you made it to this point in the video and enjoyed, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe because your support truly does mean the world. And also, let me know what you'd like to see next. We're only a few hundred subscribers away from 50K. We're going to get there super fast. Thank you all for watching once again, and until next time, I will see you all later.